Well, okay. Shalom, shalom to everyone out there. Shalom, first and foremost. Let's start this off by giving all honor, thanks, praise, and glory to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, which is the Most High, and His Son Christ. Secondly, much love and support to all of the sincere brothers and sisters out there who spreading this biblical truth with all faith, endurance, and sincerity to all of our people out there with eyes to see, ears to hear, and a mind to understand. Once again, this your brother Yahweh Yasharah from the sea souls of Israel, the rocks of offense, and also the ambassadors for righteousness, the restorers of paths, and the preparers of the breach, and the advocates for Christ. Once again, dropping you another video. So, brothers and sisters, what this video is going to be about, of course, is concerning the ending of the 7 days of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is also began by the Passover, by the way, which is 7 days back, right, according to the biblical scriptures. So tonight, which is Tuesday, April the 11th at even or sundown, as some people understand it, is the ending of the 7 days of unleavened bread, right, in which the children of Israel, which is the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent, we're not supposed to eat anything that's leavened or anything with yeast in it, right, for 7 consecutive days, right? So tonight is the ending of that. Also, today is a Sabbath, right? So we're not supposed to be working today. So, if you're literally working out in the world, today was supposed to be a holiday for you, man, right? So if you're of the nation of Israel, you're supposed to be having this day off as a holiday. Okay, so this is what this video is going to be about. It's sort of like a little refresher video, of the ending of the 7 days of unleavened bread. Also, this is going to be like a little rebuttal or response to the messages that I've received concerning my charity videos that I've done a few months back, right? And the reason why I decided to respond to that is because, some of those messages that I've received, you could tell, they're from people that's, a little bit still in the world, right? They're not really too fond with the scriptures, I can tell, because of the questions that they ask, right? And one of them actually even went as far as saying that, they don't think that they should be giving money or charity or tithing or alms to people who so-called lazy, right? So this is the problem with our nation today, right? This is the reason why the Most High is pissed off with our people, man, because we refuse to help each other that's in need, man, right? So when you're giving your alms or your charity or your tithing or so-called philanthropy, as they call it today, right, the new terminology, if you're doing that amongst your people who's in need or the less, so to speak, right, that's what you would call a rehearsing of the righteous act, man, which is encouraged by the Most High. Giving your tithing and your alms and your charity is actually a commandment by the Most High, man, right? This is how you help your nation of people, okay? Just like the regular people in the world, you know what I'm saying? If they're blessed with a lot and they feel that they want to give, a little bit of charity or philanthropy to the less fortunate or whatever, or their so-called charity organizations, they give that money, right? Or they give whatever gifts that they choose to give. Now, it's highly questionable on what they give into these so-called charity organizations. If it really goes to the people that needs it, that's highly questionable, because if that was the case, then you wouldn't have so much homeless people out on the street. You wouldn't have such places called Skid Row or Tent City in all of these cities across America, man, right? So you really have to question, where is your money or your so-called philanthropy is going when you're given to these so-called charitable organizations, right? So, as I want to respond to these questions here, this is the reason why the Most High says we're cursed with a curse in the book of Malachi, because we refuse to give tithing, we refuse to give charity, alms, philanthropy, right? And then, as the scripture states, the prophet or the preacher is worthy of their meat, they're worthy of their reward. So if you're doing the work of the Most High, which this is what I'm doing right now, this is work. This is considered doing the work of the Most High, right? So obviously, this is not a lazy work, teaching your people that the law, statutes, and commandments are done away with, right? Teaching them to repent, teaching them to obtain the keys to receiving heavenly salvation of the Most High, right? This is a hard work. not really hard for a spiritual person because, this is something that we enjoy to do. But for your regular worldly person, this will be considered a hard thing to do because they're not spiritually inclined, right? So this is what you would call work, and the people who spreading this word is worthy of their works. So if the Most High was to lay it upon your heart or any other person's heart to give us charity or alms or tithing or philanthropy, then that's the right thing to do because this is what the Most High commands the children of Israel to do amongst one another. This is a rehearsing of the righteous act. So it's not like you're giving to someone who's lazy and just laying around and just want to just splurge your money or anything that they choose to do, because the Most High is specific on who we should be giving to, man, right? All throughout the scriptures, we supposed to be giving to the godly people. We supposed to be giving to the godly men, the ones who's keeping the laws, statutes, commandments, the ones who's encouraging you to repent and turn back to your God, which is your power in keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. It's not like you just giving to anyone and then they're going to take your money and go blow it on some weed or go blow it on some liquor or whatever, or go to the strip club and turn tricks or something like that, right? Or re-up, so to speak, right? When you're giving to a godly person, when you give it to someone who fear the Most High, who's keeping the laws, statutes, commandments, you can best believe that charity or alm or tithing or philanthropy is going to be put to good use, man, right? So that's what that's about. And if you choose not to do that, this is why our people are cursed with a curse, because you have a lot of our people out here, they're blessed, they have a lot, they have hundreds of thousands in the bank, they have millions in the bank, right? And what they would rather do is stunt on the people that's within their nation of people, showing them the things that they have and that they can't get, right? So you want to get on the gram or you want to get on your social media page or YouTube page and you want to flaunt and floss all of this money that you have, but you don't even want to help your own people out, right? What you want to do is you want to make people jealous, envious of you, okay? And then you're going to flaunt and stunt on people that don't have, because they don't have it, but you're not going to do that with those rich folks, right? Those other people that have a lot of money, because you can't compete because they have more than you. But what you would rather do is take what you have, and flaunt on poor people within your nation of people, man, when you should be helping them, right? So this is what the Most High requires us to do. This is a rehearsal of the righteous act, man, when you're doing your tithing, charity, and alms, right? So it's not that you're just giving to someone who's lazy and just laying around. Just like I said, the Most High is precise on who he wants us to give our charity and our alms and tithing to. We got to give to the godly people. Now, according to the Old Testament, the godly people was the Levites. They didn't have an inheritance from the Most High. So, what they relied on was the alms and the charity from us, the tithing from us. And why? Because they was keeping the law, statutes, the commandments of the Most High, and they was keeping us out of sin by reminding us to keep the law, statutes, the commandments of the Most High. Not only that, the high holy days, right, which is tonight, which is the ending of the 7 days of unleavened bread, okay, which is a holiday. Okay, you're not going to hear that from nowhere else. You're not going to hear that from the religious Churchianity Church. You're not going to hear that from the Roman Catholics, okay? You're not going to hear that in Hinduism. You're not going to hear that in Buddhism. You're not going to hear that in Islam, okay? Because they just got through keeping the 40 days of Ramadan. Just like in the Roman Catholic Church, they just got through keeping the 40 days of Lent. Okay, that have nothing to do with the biblical scriptures whatsoever. But according to the biblical scripture, we're supposed to be keeping the Passover, which was 7 days ago, up until tonight, which is the killing of the Passover, which is 7 days of unleavened bread. So you're not going to hear that nowhere else. So you have people such as myself that's teaching you to keep the law, statutes, the commandments, in which the Most High himself said is worthy of their reward or worthy of their meat, right? So that's not given to someone who's quote unquote lazy, okay? So if you knew the Old Testament or anything about the scriptures whatsoever, you would understand that, okay? So this is what this video is going to be about. It's going to be in response to those questions with a few scriptures, and also the focus on the killing or the ending of the 7 days of unleavened bread, right? So we're going to get right into that. And we're going to focus on that first. So I'm going to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 12. All right. So I'm going to pull that up on my screen here. Chapter 12. Okay. Okay, so once again, here we go. We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 12. And I'm going to start at verse 1. And it read, And the Most High Power spake unto Moshe, or Moses, as is written here, right? And Aaron in the land of bondage, which is Egypt, written here, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Okay? So as I brought out in my previous videos, the beginning of the month or the year, as it says here, for us, which is the children of Israel, is the month of Abi or Abi. So how we determine the beginning of months, or in this case right here, the beginning of the year, which is the beginning of the month, is the new moon, right? So right here for March 2023, okay, as you can see here for the 21st, it's the new moon. It's 1% visibility, meaning that it has no illumination whatsoever, as is seen here, right? But technically, it's for 3 days, okay, as you see from the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd. And then for the 23rd is your waxing, which is the waxing strong crescent, right? So in other religions, such as Islam, all right, they would say that this is the new moon because they see it first visible in the sky. But according to this right here, which is the Gregorian calendar and scripture, which is from the book of Enoch, the 78th and 79th chapter, and also the book of 1st and 2nd Kings, okay, it says that a moon that is dark, not illuminated, is the new moon, right? And also in the book of Sirach, in the Apocrypha, the 43rd chapter, all right? So right here is the new moon, all right? Not the waxing crescent, which is in Islam, or the full moon, unfortunately, like some brothers and sisters of this faith is teaching, okay? So that's your new moon there. That's the beginning of the year, right? Which is a Abi or a B, going into April, all right? So that's what that is there. So in continuation, back into the book of Exodus, chapter 12, and then it says here, verse 3, Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel. That means all people in the nation of Israel, right? The 12 tribes, not just the high priests, not just the elders, right? Everyone, right? Men, women, and children, right? Saying, In the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers. Okay, the house of their fathers, which is the fathers of the tribe, right? Like you have Judah, Levi, Benjamin, okay, the southern kingdom. And then for the northern kingdom, which is the kingdom of Joseph, and then his sons, which is Manasseh and Ephraim, and Dan, and so on and so forth, right? Issachar, so on and so forth, right? So it says here, the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house, okay? So when you want to count from 10 days from the beginning of the month, you got to count 10 days from here, the 21st, right? So the 23rd would be your first day. Salakia, the 22nd would be your first day. The 23rd would be your second. 24th, the 3rd. 25th, the 4th, and then so on and so forth, right? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. All right, so if you count from the 21st, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so the 10th day would be the 31st of March. And then the 11th day would be the first day of April, in which people deem April Fools, right, as it says here. Okay, so that's the 11th day, which is Saturday. Okay. In continuation, verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Okay. So, I have a couple of videos stating that sometimes in the scripture, when it says soul, it's referring to your actual temple, your actual body, your physical body, right? So, for today's belief, a lot of people believe when they hear the word soul, they think something spiritual. Okay, so right here, according to verse 4, if it's speaking about something spiritual, then how can a spiritual soul eat lamb, physical lamb, right? That don't make no sense. So when it says right here, souls, it's speaking about you, your body, your temple. Okay. In continuation, every man according to his eating shall make your account for a lamb. All right. So right here, this is what you would call your your charity also. Okay. Because if you have too much in your house and then your next door neighbor doesn't have any or very little, not enough to feed his whole entire household, then what you're going to do is basically give him a helping hand. You're going to give him some of your lamb. Okay. So right here, this is what the Most High commands us to do, as it says right here in verse 3. Speak ye unto the children of Israel. Okay, so this is what we're commanded to do. We're commanded to rehearse righteous acts towards one another for the so-called less fortunate, right? Verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. Okay, so this is what it is. You got to have your lamb, and then right here, as it says, I guess if you don't have any lamb, then you can have a goat, right? But the primary choice is the lamb, right? And then it says right here, verse 6, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of this same month. Okay, now that same month, just like I said, it's not going by the Gregorian calendar, it's going from the new moon. Okay, so up until the 14th day from the new moon is still in the month of Abai, right? And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening, which is of the 14th day. All right, so once again, going back into the calendar. All right, remember I said Saturday is the 11th day, right? So when you count to Sunday, that's the 12th day, right? Monday the 3rd is the 13th day. Tuesday 4, and which it lines perfectly up from 10 days apart, right? So it's basically letting you know right there, Monday, which is the 3rd here, but it's the 13th in the Hebraic month. Tuesday is the 14th day in the Hebraic month, which is 4. Okay, so that's 14 days still in the month of Abai, all right, which is the first month of the year. All right, so the 14th day at evening, of course, is your Passover. All right, and then it's also the first day of unleavened bread. All right, so this, like I said, with tonight, which is Tuesday, which is the 11th, is the killing of the Passover and unleavened bread. Okay, the 7 days of unleavened bread. All right, at evening tonight. All right, which is, I guess you could say, waxing. What do you call it? A waxing gibbous. Okay, is waxing strong to become full. All right, or waning gibbous, I should say, because it's actually going down back into the new moon, right? The full moon was right here. Okay, so that's what that is. All right, that's the counting up to your 14th day, according to the scripture and the ancient Hebraic timing, the calendar, according to the lunar calendar. All right, so as it says here again, And ye shall keep it up unto the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. Now, that's not saying that everyone come together and kill it, but, everyone that's within their chambers, in their household, he's instructing us that everyone to kill their lamb or their goat at evening, all right, for the beginning of the Passover. And this, like I was saying before, this is a rehearsing of the righteous act in verse 4. So as I was saying earlier, this is what the Most High commands us to do. This is a rehearsing of the righteous act. So, for the less fortunate who may not have or can afford a lamb, and you have a lot of lamb in your house and you're about to keep the Passover, this is something that you're commanded to do of the Most High, right? It looks like a little bug there, Salakia. So that's a rehearsing of the righteous act, and it's a commandment to give your alms and your so-called philanthropy to the less fortunate who may not have. So right then and there, as you can see on the screen in the book of Exodus, which is commanded by the Most High, that we have to perform these righteous acts towards one another, towards the less fortunate, right? So it's not about giving to someone who's quote unquote lazy or don't want to do for themselves or get out and earn for themselves. This is something that we're commanded of our God, the children of Israel, that we're supposed to do amongst one another, man, right? So getting back into the book of Exodus. Okay. And we're going to jump down to verse 14. And it read, And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord, which is all caps here, right? The Most High power, right? Throughout your generations, your genealogies, man, right? Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever, all right? It didn't say for 1 year or 3 years or 5 or 6, 7 years. It says forever throughout your generations, man, right? Verse 15. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Okay, so just like I was saying before, for 7 days consecutively, we have to eat unleavened bread, right? Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. Okay, so this can be in a literal sense or a physical sense, meaning physically, you're not supposed to eat anything that's leavened or with yeast in it, right? And spiritually or metaphorically, the leaven could be the false doctrine or your worldly, lustly desires. Okay, so you got to put away the leaven for 7 days consecutively. Now, that doesn't mean like just put away every single thing that you enjoy doing and just sit up in your house for 7 days not doing anything. It doesn't mean that. It's not saying that. But what it's saying that the things that draws away your attention for excessive amounts of time, it takes away from your focus on the things that you should be doing. You got to put away those things. Okay, that will be your worldly, your lustly leaven. Okay. Then it says here, for whosoever eateth leavened bread. Okay, now bread can also be the doctrine. Okay, it could be a foreign wisdom that's outside of these scriptures here, right? It doesn't necessarily have to mean literal bread. Okay. From the first day unto the 7th day, that soul, which is that body, shall be cut off from Israel, meaning that the Most High is going to orchestrate your demise from that point on. Now, he could take your life that same very night if he chooses to. He's the Most High. He does as he please. But, he may give you a little grace because we're under grace now. Christ came to give us grace to make things right. Okay, so, if there's a chance, by any chance, that we slip up or make a mistake or whatever and eat something that's leavened because we're ignorant to something that have leaven in it, then we have the grace, right? But if you know about it and you know better, then this is for you, right? For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day unto the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from the house of Israel. Okay, in continuation. Verse 16. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the seventh day, which is tonight, all right, April the 11th, Tuesday at even, okay, and in the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation unto you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save which is except that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. Okay, so this, like I was saying before earlier in the video, you know, not only the first day of the Passover and the first day of unleavened bread, but also tonight, which is the seventh day, of the month of Abai. This is supposed to be a holiday. All right, so this, like I was saying in my previous video, you have a couple of brothers and sisters that said, if you're literally working out in the world and your boss tells you that you have to come in for the Passover and you can't take the day off, then you have to do what you have to do, right? And you shouldn't be teaching that, because you're leading your people to sin, and you're leading them to go against the Most High, and you're leading them not to respect and honor and obey the Most High, right? So what you think the Most High is going to do to you? Okay, he's going to destroy you, man, right? He may not do it right then and there, but, he's going to orchestrate that demise, man, and you're not going to know where it's coming from. You're not going to know the angle, because you're teaching your people to sin against the Most High and not obey the Most High, but rather obey their oppressors, man, right? So this, you're not supposed to be doing any work for hire. Now, anything else, like work around the house, you cleaning your house or whatever, or, you have to drive somewhere to run a little errands or whatever, you can do that. But you're not supposed to be working for hire, man, right? You're not supposed to be working for pay on this day. This day's supposed to be a holiday for you, all right? So that's what I was bringing out during the previous video, okay? So you can't tell the people who follow you, or the people that that's in the truth with you, that if your boss tells you, oh, you have to work, you just dishonor the Most High and go into work and just break Passover, break the 7 days of unleavened bread, and break the killing of the Passover, man, right? Verse 17, and ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of bondage, which is Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. Okay, so you're supposed to be observing this day, man, right? This is very important to the nation of Israel, man, right? Verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day, which is the month of Abai, once again, in the 14th day, all right, which is the first day of Passover and unleavened bread of the month, at even ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. Okay, so according to the Hebraic calendar, the lunar calendar, this is the 21st day, which is also the 21st day at evening, okay, which is tonight, which is April, Tuesday, 11th, right? Verse 19. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses, right? Now, that doesn't mean literally, if you want to, you can do that. And if you have the money to buy more things with leaven after the Unleavened Bread Feast, then you can do that. But when it says houses, this can be a physical thing or it can be a spiritual thing. Okay, so as far as the leaven not being found in your houses, just don't eat anything with leaven or with yeast in it. And then don't follow after false philosophies and doctrines and dogmas of the world, right? For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul or that person shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. All right, now this is talking about, all of the Israelites that may have not been born in the land, right? They could have been born in the land of Canaan. Okay, they could have been born in the country of Moab, all right? They could have been born in Assyria, Babylon, but they still Israelites, right? And they came to Jerusalem to feast, all right? Verse 20. Ye shall eat nothing leavened in all your habitations. All your habitations, where is the places where you have inhibited, okay? Wherever you at. It could be here in spiritual Babylon, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Or anywhere else in the world, okay? Shall ye eat unleavened bread, all right? See, this is like another reiteration here. The Most High is serious about this, man, right? Let's jump down to verse 24, which is another reiteration, right? And it says, and ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. Okay, verse 25. And it shall come to pass when ye be come to the land which the Most High Power will give you, according as he have promised you, that ye shall keep this service. Okay, so the Most High, once again, is another reiteration that you should keep this service, man. No matter where you at, no matter where you inhibited, no matter what land you in, no matter what captivity you're under, you're supposed to be keeping and observing this service, man, right? Not telling your people, if your boss tell you to come into work, then you have to go to work and disobey the Most High, man, right? Your boss himself obeys the Most High, right? But you're going to disobey the Most High and follow your boss, man. Okay, so you got to be keeping this service, man, if you're of the nation of Israel, which is the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent, man, right? So we got that out the way. So now we're going to get into the response of the messages that I've received concerning my charity videos, right? And the first one that I'm going to go to is in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12.